Well, we use it for parties, Christmas, birthdays, or whatever. And he said, and he always had this, he had this big thermos, and he said, watch this. So he pulls out a case, and he had them marked, and he shows me his thermos. He said, see, a third of it is filled with orange juice. And then he took one of the bottles of Royal Gate, and he just went, glug, 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 glug. And then he screws the top back on, and he said, I drink this vodka every day, and then one day after everyone's left the bank, I fill half these bottles with water. He said the girls never know, and it keeps them from getting drunk at the parties. And, I was standing there with my mouth open, and I said, I always remember this, he was right beneath the no smoking ever in the vault, and he's got his fucking palm on. I said, what are you showing me this for?
Like, you're the worst person to show this to.
And he says, Steve, get yourself a thermos. So, that was a Friday to Monday. I show up, I got a thermos, and he and I would go in there at noon every day. I'd have a peanut butter sandwich, and he'd have a bologna one, and we'd fill up our thermoses, with vodka, and we'd go upstairs to the lunchroom and have, screwdrivers all through lunch. And then he'd give me menial jobs in the afternoon, like filing checks and simple accounting and things. And anyway, this goes on for a while. And then he comes in one morning, I'm sitting there, and he puts this package down on my desk. I said, what's this? And he said, it's a test on bank procedure. He said, Feinstein, who is the president, this weaselly little guy, obviously didn't like me. And he said, he wants you and all the tellers to take this test, see what you know. And he said, now, did you read any of those manuals I gave? And the interesting thing was I had, because and this was great, the one part of college I missed was tests. I loved taking tests. I loved exams. And so he gives it to me. It's 50 questions, and it was as simple as, did you ever take sociology?
Yeah.
Okay, it was like a sociology test. Any answer worked,
right.
know. And so I take the test. It takes me 10 or 15 minutes, and I hand it back to him, and he said, no. He said, you've got to concentrate on this. I know Feinstein's going to want me to fire you if you don't do well. And I said, Judd, if I missed a single question on that test, you should fire me. So I come in the next morning, and Feinstein and Judd are by my desk, and Feinstein comes over and slaps